So welcome to our February 27th, 2024 Commissioners' Consent Agenda meeting. It is 2 o'clock. Please let the record reflect that we have all 5 commissioners present. Commissioner French is on Zoom. I do want to note for the record that there was no written comments that were received. We are going to be striking 5I on today's agenda, so that will be stricken from today's agenda. And we will be taking 3A separately. So I think with all of that announcement, we will stand for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. So that will take us then to our open public forum. We do have someone who's here to speak for our open public forum. So I'll open up the open public forum and ask Mr. Bond, Jim Bond or James Bond, to please come forward.
Yes, good afternoon. Thank you. My name is Jim Bond. I live at 3509 East Deer Road up in the Meade area, District 3. And I am here to, first of all, ask you if you received my letter sent to the full board, received by Shelley Thompson and Gina on Friday the 16th. I just want to do a little summary of that. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
So continue.
Yeah, and what I wanted to do is I wanted to present myself in person and explain that this is a ridiculous situation. I'm very disappointed in Spokane County. Not any one individual, it's kind of an overall process of failure. I own a significant piece of acreage up north, and my neighbor's is a mobile home park, Shenandoah Mobile Home Park. I've known them, 2 different owners since 1990, and it's gotten out of control because they tend to disrespect our vacant land adjacent to their little teeny lots with their mobile homes. So over the years, I've had a great agreement with the first owner and developer. The second owner is a new company, Horowitz, from Laguna Beach, California. And there's been some trouble keeping the people on their side of the line with fence boards, rotten wood, rocks, gravel, stolen soil, stolen trees, waste concrete, you name it. Okay, I went up there and tried to reestablish some sense of a border, and I was threatened with a lawsuit by their attorney. I prevailed anyway, talking to each individual owner. We moved sheds, we moved fences, we moved landscaping. I gave permission to clean up pine needles. Things looked pretty good. There were things that I couldn't handle myself. So it goes to the Spokane County Zoning Code. I looked it up. There's a complaint form. I saw zoning violations, setbacks. I saw buildings that were not constructed properly. I went down here to this room upstairs and I went through all the permit files on the people that border our property. I found 5 that were obvious gross violations. I wrote those up. I submitted them in 2019, and it's been 4 years and 8 months, and 1 awning was cut back. Now, in my letter to you, I have one example. It's 3428 East Garrison Road, where an illegal garage was built as a carport, then filled in with siding. 0, is that it?
That is your 3 minutes, so I apologize.
If you read the rest of the letter, you will see that Spokane County has a problem because these violations were never resolved, and then the property has now been sold.
Yes, thank you.
You
are welcome to come back. And
I'll be back every Tuesday.
And we do all have the letter, so thank you very much. Apologize for that. So this is still a continuation of our open public forum. So this is for anyone who wishes to speak on any item that is not on our agenda today. So is there anyone else? Second call for anyone wishing to testify. No one online, no one in the audience. Third and final call for anyone wishing to testify. And I apologize, Mr. Vaughn, that you can't testify twice. So thank you. Okay, nobody else, and we're not seeing anyone online, then I will close the open public testimony. We are going to hold off a minute on item 5I to ensure that it's properly stricken or not. Strike it? Okay. So we are still striking 5I from the agenda today, but then we will go ahead and take 3A separately since that is the next item on our agenda. So I will look to my fellow commissioners.
Madam Chair, I move to approve item 3A.
Second.
Thank you. I have a motion and a second for item number 3A. Is there anyone who'd like to speak to the issue? Commissioner Jordan.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We did speak about this issue a bit in our morning briefing. STA is an important regional board. So for the benefit of the public and because I think we have a difference of opinion, I wanted to address why I will not be supporting Commissioner French's proposed resolution today. The first reason is I don't believe it's necessary. I see it as a solution in search of a problem. The county already has an alternate to the STA board. That's Commissioner Waldriff. We've already made that decision. All 5 commissioners supported her selection as the county STA alternate back in January. Second reason is Commissioner Waldriff is more than capable of performing that alternate role in the event that Commissioners Kearns or French are absent from any meeting of STA. She's highly qualified to do so. She's served as STA board chair twice. She's been integrally involved in ballot measures related to STA, and I have every confidence that if there's a vacancy or an absence on STA board, she will be able to get up to speed quickly and represent the county well. Third, I don't believe the resolution is consistent with STA alternate resolutions used by other cities. I was surprised to learn this based on the arguments made last week. The city of Spokane Valley, for example, handles STA alternates the same way that we have until today, potentially. They appoint 2 city council members to the STA board. That's the mayor and deputy mayor currently, and 2 other council members who don't serve on the STA board as their alternates, and that's council members Higgins and Padden. And that's what our current resolution that we already have does. I say Spokane Valley's got it right and we should just follow their lead. The argument was made this morning that this resolution is needed to address a potential absence to a particular STA subcommittee known as Board Ops or Board Operations. I see no legal reason why Commissioner Waldriff could not fill Commissioner French's vacancy if he is absent from Board Ops. Commissioner French himself said last week several times that STA has, quote, no control, end quote, over who we appoint to these board positions. He's also said last week that, quote, the chairmanship belongs to the county, end quote. And I agree with that. I think that was right. But we can't have it both ways. It's either an STA decision, in which case it should be handled by their board, or it's a county decision, in which case we get to decide. I think the position belongs to the county. Any vacancy belongs to the county, and I think that's consistent with what council indicated this morning after speaking with STA attorneys, that STA is essentially leaving it to the jurisdictions to address alternates. I wasn't able to find any comparable resolution at the city or valley that assigns one specific STA board member's voting rights to another specific STA board member in the event of the first member's absence from a particular subcommittee. So in closing, personally, I appreciate the arguments being made. I just don't quite understand why it seems to be such an important goal to ensure Commissioner Waldriff does not fill a vacancy on STA. Commissioner French said this morning that, quote, it makes no sense, end quote, for Commissioner Waldriff to even be appointed as our alternate, due apparently to the makeup of her district. I don't think that's a good reason to prevent her from serving as an alternate. Commissioner Waldorf has both incorporated and unincorporated precincts in her district, as do I, as does Commissioner French. If there's a clear legal opinion from STA that this has to happen in this way, I am all ears. I just haven't heard that. And in the absence of that, I feel we've already made this decision. Commissioner Waldorf is our alternate, and I don't see any reason to change that. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other comments? Commissioner Kearns.
Okay, so we went over a lot of this last week, and then we had a pretty robust discussion today. So the Board Operations Committee is made up of 5 individuals. It's the overall chair of STA, who is Commissioner French. It is then the chairs of the other 2 subcommittees, those being Planning and Development, who is Mayor Haley, and then the Performance Monitoring and External Relations Committee, who is myself. And then to make sure every jurisdiction has a seat on there, there's a small cities representative, who is Dan Dunn from Liberty Lake, and it was Zach Zappone from the city of Spokane Valley. So because Commissioner French chairs the overall board, that's why there are 2 county representatives on Board Ops. I serve on that board as a non-voting member. So that way no jurisdiction has 2 votes on that board. So I'm an ex officio member. I have attended every regular STA meeting. I attend all of my subcommittees, but as chair of PEMR, I sit on the Board Ops as a non-voting member. In the instance where if Commissioner French is absent, this would just give me his voting rights. I am certainly confident that Commissioner Waldorf can follow through on that, but I think it would be in the benefit of having somebody who has actually attended the STA board meetings leading up to the Board Ops meeting to be the individual that has those voting rights. The things that are voted on at Board Ops deal sometimes that go back months of STA board meetings or subcommittee meetings leading up to a final vote or review at Board Operations. That's why I think it would make sense that the individual that is in those board meetings leading up to a meeting where there could be a vote, that be the member that would have the voting rights. In this instance, it would be myself. I don't think there would be anything wrong with Commissioner Waldorf then coming in and filling the ex officio role for that meeting, but to throw someone in to a board operations meeting with the voting rights, potentially not having the adequate background information that's leading up to a vote that could be months of meetings feeding into that final vote. I think this resolution, as stated, makes sense. So I will be supporting it.
Commissioner French, you have your hand up.
I do, and thank you, Madam Chair. And so I just want to echo the comments of Commissioner Kearns. I don't need to repeat it. I think he stated it very accurately, and this it's the audio, as you experienced last week, Madam Chair, is very fractured. And so we do need to fix that, because I could only hear parts of what Commissioner Jordan was stating, but based upon previous conversations about this item, I can certainly understand probably the tone of where he's going. The problem is that, the alternate position is to the board that Ms. Waldorf holds. The Ops Committee is an internal committee to the board, and it makes more sense to have Commissioner Kearns there. The Ops Committee is a committee of the board, and so, I think we're trying to compare apples and oranges here with regard to what an alternate can and cannot do. So anyway, I support the motion as originally presented. And if there was, because the volume and quality of the audio is such to where I don't know whether an amendment to the motion was made by Commissioner Jordan or not. So if you could fill me in on that, I would appreciate it. Thank you.
No, there is no amendment to the motion. It is just a straight-up motion.
So it's just the original motion?
Correct.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And yes, I can sympathize with you on that. And I'm not sure if it's just Commissioner Jordan's microphone. Just.
I'm not being silenced, am I?
You might be. I don't know. So try the other microphone. If you would like to repeat for Commissioner French, or if you're okay. This one doesn't work. You are trying to be silenced.
No, I don't feel the need to repeat. I think we've had a discussion over multiple days on this, but thank you.
Okay. Commissioner Waldrop, would you like to say anything? Oh, you're okay. I think everything's been said as well, other than I will just state for my purpose, I will be supporting this motion. I do feel like in this situation, this is a resolution just for this year because of the fact that we have the board chair is a county commissioner who also sits on ops, and as Commissioner Kearns has explained, and I would certainly think that this resolution doesn't prohibit that if Commissioner French is gone, that Commissioner Kearns would become, the voting member on the ops, and Commissioner Waldrop as the alternate could be sitting there as the ex officio in Commissioner Kearns's place. So I see it that way. We will still be well represented at STA, and so I'll be supporting the motion. Okay, with that, any other comments? Okay, then I have a motion and a second for item 3A on today's agenda. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed?
Nay.
Motion passes 2-3. Thank you. Again, a reminder, we have stricken 5I on today's agenda. Just clarifying that one more time. Mr. Simmons?
Yes, Commissioner, the project manager did ask with Public Works to delay that
Okay.
and to strike it from the agenda.
Okay, very good. Then I will look to my fellow commissioners.
Madam Chair, I move to approve items 3B, 4A, and 5A through H.
Second?
Ooh, look at that. Did you hear Commissioner Jordan? Commissioner French? Could you hear Commissioner Jordan?
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
I said, were you able to hear Commissioner Jordan second the motion?
Oh, yeah, that's fine. That's fine. That's just one thing that we agree on.
I got to get in the minutes.
There you go. Okay, we have a motion and a second for item 3B, 4A, and 5A through H. Is there any further discussion? Commissioner Waldrop.
Thank you. I just wanted to recognize Hillary Pham. We are considering appointing her right now to the Spokane County Veterans Advisory Board. And Hillary's here in the audience. She's a Spokane County employee at the Office of the Treasurer. And I just wanted to thank her for stepping up to serve. I know this board's getting rejuvenated after the pandemic, so really looking forward to having that Veterans Advisory Board being able to advise us on all sorts of things here at the county, especially our veteran services programs. So thanks, Hillary.
Okay, any other discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
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 Motion passes unanimously. Thank you all. That then takes us to the end of our meeting at this point. Mr. Simmons or Mr. Anderson, is there anything else that's going to be coming before the board?
Nothing from me, Madam Chair.
Thank you.
I do have one, Madam Chair, under an exec session. If you'll bear with me a minute, I'll pull up the item. This will be for labor negotiations under RCW 4230-140A. In addition to the board, Chris Anderson and myself will be Ashley Cameron, Josh Grote, and Tim Nault. And Let's go 30 minutes initially, and no action expected.
I apologize. What was the time frame?
We'll go 30 minutes and no action.
Okay. Since we do anticipate no action, then we will adjourn at that time. But I believe we are going to, because of the microphone issues that we're having, so Commissioner French can ensure that he's hearing, we will then move this meeting, the executive session only, to our conference room. And so it is 2:23. Let's say we will reconvene at 2:30. That gives us just a few minutes to move ourselves over. We will start the executive session at 2:30. It will go for 30 minutes. We don't anticipate any action. So with that, then we will adjourn the meeting at that point after the executive session. So thank you all very much for being here today. Appreciate all the information, and we will see you next week. Thank you.